just about 22 minutes past the top of the hour on this Thursday morning. I'm Sarah Colvin, and joining me live on the phone, I welcome our Chief of Police, Paul MacDonald. Chief, good morning.
Good morning, Sarah.
How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. So, Chief, we just got off the phone with our Director of Public Works, Dan Santos, who's been working hard to deal with, obviously, all of the snow that has landed in our town. Tell me, Chief, from a public safety perspective, what the past few days have been like for you and your staff.
Well, first, I just want to give Dan Santos and his crew a great deal of credit. They really did a great job on probably the most difficult of circumstances. I know we all met Monday afternoon at the PD, and we described this storm as possibly being a historic event, and I think it met all of our expectations. As far as public safety went, it was difficult 3 days. We had numerous calls, most of individuals being stranded in their motor vehicles. We did have a travel ban in effect that went in effect on Monday night at midnight, and there seems to be an awful lot of people that just totally ignored that travel ban, and that caused all kinds of problems, particularly down in Hyannis around the airport rotary. On Route 28, the stretch between the airport rotary and Yarmouth Road with all these wind and snow drifts coming across the airport, that roadway was virtually blocked. At one time, we counted as many 18 vehicles stranded at the airport rotary. And I can't tell you how many vehicles over the past couple of days we have towed, probably close to 100 vehicles. And the other big thing was the shelter. Monday, the shelter was staffed at 5 o'clock. The shelter opened at 6:30. As soon as the shelter opened, we had the first couple of individuals that showed up, and they took some proactive steps. Rather than wait for the power to go off or the roads were impassable, they just decided to go down to the shelter. During the height of the storm, we had approximately 35 individuals at the shelter, and I believe we had 9 pets, dogs, cats, and a lizard, all stayed at the shelter. Yesterday, as DPW did their work and they started clearing the streets, we were down to only a couple of hundred houses without power. Everybody in the shelter, we checked their residence. They all had power. Then we gave them all transportation back to their homes. And by 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, we were able to close the shelter, and everybody was home. And I realized during the last couple of days, a lot of people, they have been inconvenienced, but as a result of the storm, nobody got injured, nobody got hurt. So all in all, it was a historic event, but I think everybody did a pretty good job. They were inconvenienced. I'll give them that, but it went pretty well.
Absolutely. Sometimes, Mother Nature doesn't like to make things convenient for us, and there's not a whole heck of a lot we can do when a storm of this magnitude comes through our area.
You're right. And during the height of the storm, we had a conversation with the DPW, and we were trying to keep the main pathways to the hospital open. Route 28, Yarmouth Road, Race Lane. At one time during the storm on Tuesday, we had 3 rescues. And they all had individuals in the rescue. They're trying to get them to the hospital, and they all got jammed up and stuck. A couple of them from Sandwich. They coming down Race Lane, which is their major route to the hospital, and they're trying to get through drifts that are 4 to 6 feet high, and the rescues get stuck, and but DPW again, they stepped up to the plate. They sent the plows out there and freed up all those rescue squads. So it was tough.
Absolutely, and that certainly, I think, is one of the hugest challenges is if there is a medical emergency, to make sure that those ambulances can get through. And of course, they're not just coming from the Hyannis area, they're coming from all over the Cape to the hospital.
Right, they come off the Cape. That's why Yarmouth Road was key, Route 20 is key, 132 is key. We did talk to the state rep, and we did ask for some heavy equipment to come down to keep 132 and Route 28. But that area, Route 28, I was down through there between Airport Rotary and Yarmouth Road. That was total whiteout conditions. I mean, you literally could not even see the front of your vehicle, and the same thing applied out by the Mills Airport, that international airport out in Race Lane there, because the wind comes flying across there. Next thing plow goes through there, and 15, 20 minutes later, you would never even know the plow was there.
Absolutely. Well, Chief, people are starting to dig out at this point, and a lot of people like us have come to work after being home for a couple of days. It's still pretty treacherous out there. Some of the mains are down to relatively bare pavement, but a lot of the side roads and the secondary roads are not yet plowed. So do you have advice for people as they're traveling to and from work today?
I know it's difficult, and people probably don't want to hear me say this, but still, if you do not have to go out, still, if you do not have to go to work, if you're still driving around, please don't go out there and drive around just to look at the site. Please stay home. But if you are out there, like you said, the main roads are pretty clear. There are some snow-packed roads on the main roads. A lot of the side streets. I was out earlier today. The DPW was out trying to get them all cleared. But please, you just got to take time. Drive cautiously, and you just need extra time to get to your destination.
Absolutely, Chief. And in terms of emergency response, I know that you serve as the lead of our kind of emergency coordination team here at the town of Barnstable. Can you talk just a bit about the communication and how you were able to stay in touch with everyone and make sure that everybody was on the same page especially during the height of the blizzard?
The communication is ongoing with everybody, right from the town managers, DPW, to the school department, to the hospital. We're all working on the same page. We're all trying to prioritize one thing. That's public safety, getting everybody to and from the hospital, and if people are stranding in the homes, if we need assistance with getting somebody out of the house, we need a plow to clear the streets so the crews can get in there. So the coordination worked very, very well. And this was a huge test, especially for us. This is the first time we've actually opened this shelter. The shelter in the past has always been at the high school, so one day we were preparing for this. This was the first time with Dip and I were talking. This is the first time that shelter actually opened. It was the first time in the history of the town of Barnstable we allowed animals and pets to come in too. And that's a deciding factor for a lot of individuals whether or not they're going to use a shelter. Because if they have to leave their dog or their cat or the lizard or the bird, they're not coming to the shelter unless they can take their pets with them. So that's a lot of change this time.
Absolutely, and really great that people were able to take advantage of that shelter and get transportation to and from. So let's continue digging out, Chief, and hope everything goes well through the weekend. I think we're anticipating a little bit more weather, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
That's
forecast.
Great. I hope it's rain.
I hope it's rain as well. Well, that would make a big mess.
Right.
All right. Well, Chief, I thank you so much for joining us, and we will talk with you again next week. Have a great weekend.
You too. Nice talking to you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Chief of Police Paul MacDonald joining us on this special edition of